He tells me, I love the black foreign women, the immigrant or refugee type, the type to have come from some type of war. They're the type to always have wide mouths to talk in but never snitch like trauma. They always have the biggest baggage but never on the tip of their tongue. Black girls don't snitch. They say there are many ways to pull grief out of the body, but only one that will keep the girl alive right now. My grandma gets up every night brewing tea, despite having only one leg that carries her into tomorrow. And the next day, where silence is the only bedtime story our family knows, where my mother gets up every morning for work. Despite the bruises and the almost 911 call, she brews morning tea and gives it to her daughters. Asks us if we have eaten, if we are full. And that is the day I learned my biggest lesson. How leaving trauma in our body is the biggest sacrifice some women of color give to keep their communities together. Because what is rape culture to a civil war? What is rape culture to dead bodies of family members? What is survivor to dead? I want to make it clear. This poem is not a poem comparing trauma as better or worse than other forms of trauma. This is a poem for the women who understand it's much more complicated than just you and me. This is a poem for the women who are left behind when discussing rape culture. This is a poem to the women who wear hijabs and long-covering clothing and silence every morning, who are never questioned about bruises because they are always covered. To focus on the garment and never the Band-Aid. This is a poem for those who are all too familiar of things being swept under the rug faster than the graveyard growing inside the woman. This is for the prettiest of rugs holding the dirtiest of secrets. This is a poem for the women who do not have a word for rape culture or domestic assault in their native tongue. This is a poem for the women that try to speak out about rape culture but get shut down and turned into a discussion about community, about keeping us together. The body is not an apology. For the longest time, I've been so upset by my mother never reporting, for forgiving him, or my grandmother and her silenced tongue, yet my mother grabbed me, told me to listen, to really listen. Habibi, there is no such thing as good or bad, just those left behind, and I stay frozen. Because isn't it? She said, there is not only one way to be a survivor. Understand, there is no one way to be a survivor. There is survivor in silence. As much as there is in speaking out, there is survivor in silence too. There is survivor in silence too. There is survivor in waking up every morning and brewing tea for your daughters and asking them if they have eaten, if they are full, if they are full. She says, understand, speaking out is important. Reporting is important, but this is for the women who found healing in birthing and raising a girl who will one day have the tools that they didn't to speak a lioness roar. She said, Habibi, your voice is just as much as mine as it is yours. Your voice is just as much as your grandmother's as it is yours. Your voice is just as much as your ancestors as it is yours. There is survivor and patient, because when you speak, there are parts of me speaking to understand. There is no right way to be a survivor. But there is righteousness in surviving.